This conference will now be recorded.
So hi Vinayak, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you.
So Vinayak, you already know that as a part, you were a student of that LR batch, LR real training, power system training. So as a part of that course, you've been given like a mock interview will be conducted. So I'll be conducting you the mock interview the way it is when actually when you'll be giving for any performance testing interview like that it will be done. So let's start with that. Can you introduce yourself? Can you give me your professional experience, like what you have done
Yeah,
till now and what things you have about?
yeah. So I have total 6 years of experience, and currently I'm working in MySys technology, and here I'm working on LoadRunner, and I know like HTTP, Ajax to client, and web service protocol. Apart from that, I also have knowledge on Jmeter and Fiddler, AWS Cloud,
Okay, okay, that's
and on
wonderful.
monitoring Dynatrace.
Okay, cool. So okay, so are you an individual contributor or you work, you manage people also? So you said that you have your 6 year of work ex, right? So
Yeah,
can you tell me about your day-to-day activity? How's your day looks like in your
yeah,
team, and what are the responsibilities that you are handling?
yeah. So I'm individual contributor. I'm involved in like an NFR gathering, um, test preparation, execution and analysis, and identifying bottlenecks, and like preparing final report and monitoring
Okay,
the resources. Yeah, so these are day-to-day activities.
okay. So you said that you are an individual contributor. So are you? What I understood that you are involved in end-to-end testing, right? So
Yeah,
you'll be so everything. So are you working on the legacy projects, or are these are the new projects that are coming up in your team?
so this is existing project.
Okay, so you worked on legacy projects.
Yeah,
Fine. Uh, okay, fine. So can you tell me what are the protocols that you have worked on till now? How many protocols you know?
HTTPS, web HTTPS, Ajax to client and web service protocol.
Okay. Okay, so you have worked on HTTP and TrueClient. Okay.
Yeah,
So in HTTP, there is a thing called, okay, web submit data and then submit form. So can you tell me what's the difference between that?
yeah. So whenever we are submitting any form data, in that case we use the in the recording it will be web submit form, and web submit data will be like for particular field if you are sending some data.
Are you sure? Is it like that only?
Not sure, like, but this is like I remember.
Okay, fine. So there are two different kinds of recording mode, right? So can you tell
Mm.
me the difference and when and where you gonna use URL mode and HTML mode, right? So can you tell me what's the
Mm.
difference in between that and when and how? I mean, where you going to use that?
So for suppose we want to write some custom code, in that case we go for URL mode, and for HTML mode, suppose there is a like we are able to capture all the requests, but the line of code will be less as compared to web URL mode, because URL mode will create a request method for each request or resources. That's why the line of code will be more for URL mode. So generally, whenever we were not able to capture certain events, then we can go for URL mode, and we can write the custom code also using C.
So I can't do custom coding in HTML mode. That's what you wanna say.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay, fine. So when you said that in your resume that you worked on you used Fiddler in your projects. Can you tell me
yeah.
what were the circumstances like? What made you use Fiddler?
Certain times the requests were not getting captured due to proxy issues.
Hmm.
So in that case, we use Fiddler to capture the events and we use it in Vusion and then execute it.
Okay, so have you tried changing the proxy in your LoadRunner tool? I think there is one option there as well.
Yeah, after changing proxy also that events were not getting captured. So we
Okay.
have to use third-party tool.
So can you tell me that it's fine that that you, I mean, it's great that you have used Fiddler for and then that get your task done, but I mean, before going to proxy, let's say that you have tried recording it in a Fusion and events were not getting recorded, you change the proxy, then also events were not getting recorded. So what are the additional things that you have done from your end in LoadRunner itself to see whether can I record the events or not? Apart from
Yeah.
like immediately going to the Fiddler, what are the additional things that you can explore within Fusion?
So in Vusion we have checked the filter and the protocol like socket or Vinanet. We tried changing that also, but still if events were not getting recorded in the events section, then we choose to go for a fiddler.
Okay, okay. So let's say that in your project, if I give you some circumstances that you don't have Fiddler with you, okay, you cannot, let's say, and I am asking you to create only through, I've given you the endpoints. Let's say that for API, I've given you the endpoints, and I mean but I want you to use LoadRunner. Can you make something out of LoadRunner which can like get this task done?
Yeah, we can use custom web request and enter the endpoint, all the details, and then hit
Okay,
and get the response. We can check that also.
okay, fine, fine. Uh, So, okay, fine. So can you tell me about what kind of correlation parameters that you have used? I mean, correlation functions that you have used till now?
So we use web save param and web
Hmm.
save param x regex.
Okay. Uh, I mean, do you know any additional correlation functions? Or
Yeah,
you worked on
like
these two only?
there are others also like for JSON, for attribute, and for yeah. So these four primarily we used web save param.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, fine, fine. So, I mean, do you use WebSave Param or do you use WebSave Paramax? Uh, which one you use more?
web. Sorry, can you repeat?
So you said that you worked on, I mean, the collision functions that you use are WebRace Param and WebRace Paramax, right? So
Hmm.
do you use, when do you take the call? Okay, I need to use this one, I need to use that one. How do you decide that? Or you just
Both are
randomly
same.
use them?
The X is like extended version of the earlier method. It supports similar parameters. Only the syntax is different. In new LoadRunner version, we are using WebRex param X.
Okay, cool. Okay. Can you tell me what are the attributes are there for a WebRace Paramax? What are the attributes? What are things that you can
Yeah,
pass in that?
parameter name, ordinal, scope, redirection, conversion, and a couple of more.
Conversion. Okay, fine. Okay.
Convert
So convert, I mean, how do you write that? Can
from
you write?
so URL to HTML mode. That value we have to pass in the
Okay.
method body.
So what is the function name that is written there? Do you remember that, or we just write URL to HTML like that?
No, there is a parameter like convert. I think I don't remember right now, but
Okay.
it is
Okay.
similar.
Okay. Okay. No issues. Okay, fine. Vinayak. So Vinayak, in your resume, I can see that you have written that you have worked on AWS CloudWatch
Mhm.
and you also worked on Jenkins and Git. Okay, so can you tell me what exactly? I mean, how do you utilize Jenkins and Git in your project? I mean, since you have worked on it, so what? I mean, what task are you try to achieve using this Jenkins and Git in your project? What was the scope of it?
Uh, Continuous integration, we use Jenkins to check the previous build with the current build response time. We use Jenkins and we integrate with Git to pull our script from Git repository. So for continuous integration, we use.
Okay. Can you explain more on this? How exactly you do it?
Yeah, so we will integrate the Jenkins with Git. We'll push our script to Git repository, and there are like we can specify schedule when our Jenkins job should trigger. Based on the schedule, the Jenkins job will trigger and it will execute the load test or the regression suite we have created, and it will give the response time for the each request.
Okay. Good. Fine. You said you worked on CloudWatch, I mean AWS CloudWatch. So what can you tell me what are the data retention settings are there in that? I mean, you might be using it, right? You might be capturing some metrics, right? So can you tell me what are the data retention time? Because I mean, yeah, can you tell me more on this if you could?
We can set it for 24 hours or like 7 days or for 30 days. It's custom. We can
So the
specify
level,
as per our need.
okay, so the level of metric that I am going to get is same for all, like whether I'm pulling it on 5th day, or let's say that I'm pulling it on 10th day, or let's say I'm pulling it on 30th day. The amount of data or the depthness, I would say, is gonna same or is gonna be different.
If you are pulling the historical data, then we will not see that much in depth, but overall we will get how much like the graphs and all those things
Okay.
on high level.
Okay. So fine. Um, okay. So Vinayak, you said that you are using CloudWatch for monitoring. So can you tell me what metrics exactly you are monitoring it? You are configured, right? You for running test, you might have configured some metrics for which you are later going to do the analysis, or even during the test also you're going to do the analysis, or you'll be watching that. So what are the metrics that you are capturing?
So CPU, disk, memory, and network. So those four metrics we capture.
So okay, so you said CPU memory. So in CPU, what metric? I mean, there are a lot of metrics, right? There are processor time. There are many more. So can you tell me? Can you tell me what exact metric was there for CPU?
Available M bytes, paging, pages, page fault. So
Okay.
these metrics we capture using.
So are you aware
Uh,
of this processor time, private bytes, and disk time? Are you aware of this? What are these metrics?
yeah,
Okay, can you explain if you can?
the processor time, like how much time thread is taking to execute.
Okay,
So other metrics right now I don't remember.
okay, cool. Okay, so Vinayak, I mean, I have asked a lot of questions on LoadRunner. Let me ask few more. Okay, so let's say that you okay, what kind of validation, I mean, how do you put validation in your script? What are the things that you are using? How do you incorporate a validation? Whether, because see, if my response time, if I get it, even though the content is not loading properly, and I get a 200 response time, it was gonna say pass. To check it, right, for that we put validation. So can you tell me what kind of validation you use?
So we use webreq find and
Okay,
verify image, like check image.
uh, what is the exact LR function for that, for image check?
Webreq find image. Sorry, not webreq. It's web find image text.
Are you sure?
No, not sure, but using find image also we can validate.
Find image, I mean, I didn't get that. Can you elaborate a little bit? It's if I'm not wrong, it's web image check, right? Web,
Yeah, web image. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Okay. What are the attributes that you pass in a web image check?
Um, don't remember right now.
Okay. Conscious. Okay, fine. There is one setting. There is one setting in preferences, right? No, in your runtime setting, there is one setting that you need to do. You need to enable basically uh, your web image check and test check, right? Uh,
Mhm.
so if I don't enable that, what will happen?
It will not validate the script. It will just go on.
Okay, so both, I mean, the image check and test check, both of them will not work, or one of them will not work.
If both of are not checked, then so I think only image will not work because text is already like it is a registered function, so it will work and image will not work.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. Uh, okay, so can you tell me what is think time, what is pacing?
Yeah, think time is like time duration between uh, two transaction, and for time delay between two iteration is pacing.
Can you repeat it again? I mean, there is a network break. Sorry for that. Can you please repeat it again?
So time delay between two transaction is think time, and between two iteration the delay is nothing but
Okay,
pacing.
okay, fine. Okay. So, what kind of LR function, like what kind of LR function you have worked till now? Can you name some,
Yeah.
and what are the conditions that you have used?
Yes, so LR save param, LR um, start transaction, LR output message, LR end transaction, LR random, and LR think time. So these functions we use generally.
So you have wrote those program, or these are by default when you get it when you record a script?
So for a few of them will be like by default, but like random point, those things we have overwritten.
Okay, so you have used rendezvous. Can you explain what,
Yeah.
in what scenario, what was the business requirement that you have to use rendezvous?
Yeah. So to simulate the spike for particular request, we use a rendezvous LR rendezvous point. So suddenly all the traffic will be hitting to the same request, and then we can verify the user load, how the API is handling. That
Okay,
we have to check.
okay. So can you tell me what kind of testing you have done? Different kind of testing you have done.
So we did load, stress, and endurance test.
So you have done
Spike.
these three spike
Yeah.
also. Okay. Okay. So what was the duration for endurance testing, and what were the metrics that you are looking for during the endurance testing?
Duration was 8 hours, and we were checking the memory, like available memory.
Okay.
How much?
So you were just looking for the memory, or so let's say that you are running. Okay, you ran for 8 hours. So you were just
Mhm.
observing the memory for the entire duration, or you were observing the, I mean, other metrics also? Or let's say that, even like if I ask you, okay, Vinayak, I have not run, like let's say that I have never done endurance testing, and I want to make sure that nothing messes up while running the test. So you, as a senior, you have to advise me that, okay, fine, you take care of these things while running the endurance test. What are those things gonna be?
So generally, we monitored all the four metrics: CPU, disk, memory, and network. But especially for endurance, we have to check the memory leaks. So, like, are we exceeding the threshold value that we have to check for endurance test?
Okay, okay, that's it. Like nothing else.
Mm, Other things I'm not aware of.
Okay, fine, Vinayak. So Vinayak, have you done any kind of custom coding in your projects?
Yeah, using C functions, we have done it for like splitting the string and sending the data to the next request.
Splitting the screen. Okay, can you tell me what function? I mean, what C function have you used? And can you give me like what you wrote basically? What piece of code you wrote? If you can just write it in the chat or can tell me.
Yeah, using str function, we used to find the substring, and then using string split, string tokenizer divide the string based on the token, and then store it into LoadRunner parameter or in a string function, and then pass that parameter to next request using parameterization.
Okay. Let's say that you have a situation. Okay. Let's say there is LR start transition and there is LR end transition. In between also there is one request for which you want to capture the response time, right? So that's how like in LoadRunner works, right? The moment you LR start transition, LR end transition, and whatever the name you give, when the test is run, it in the summary section it shows, okay, for this transaction it took this much of time. But what I want to do that during in that number, whatever the, let's say 100 requests are there, for 2 requests I want to catch it like a catch their response time as well. So how can I do that? Is there any way?
You have to capture that sub request response time, right?
Okay, fine. So you say suggesting that you should do. Can you tell me what is the exact LR function for that?
So LR sub transaction, like start sub transaction and end sub transaction.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, so only string tokenizer, right? You have used apart from any other string C function custom coding you have done.
So str and str cat for concatenation, and
that you told. I mean, apart from that.
A2I, sorry, um, yeah, A2I function for converting ASCII to integer.
Okay, so when do you use it? I mean, what was the scenario? I mean, what were you trying to do using A2I?
So to convert the string into integer, for suppose we are getting any ID in the form of string, and we have to convert it into a number, then in that case we use A2I function.
Okay, cool. Okay, so in runtime setting, there is one setting, Vinayak, run as a thread and run as a process. Can you tell me why these options are given and what is happening in the backend? And when do you use thread and when do you use process?
Okay, so if our application is multi-threaded, means it supports multiple thread, then we can go with the thread option because it is lightweight and consumes less memory. But if we are thick client applications, and in that case we can use process. It will be more memory intensive.
So for HTTP, should I choose process or should I choose thread?
For
Let's say I've recorded in HTTP protocol.
for HTTP, generally go for thread, and for true client protocol, select as a process.
So can you tell me what happens when you, I mean, when you're running as a thread and when you're running as a process, what is happening in the memory?
So memory consumption, like footprint, will be more for process because the request will be act as a single process and it will consume more memory.
How?
Right now I am not sure, like internal working.
Okay. So you heard about multi-threading, right? Well explained this. Can you tell me what is multi-threading?
Yeah, so multiple threads are able to access our application without any issues, like in the
So
parallel or
this
sequential
happens
manner.
in memory or this happens on the application part?
It happens on the web server, but uh, ultimately like application server will interact with like underlying CPU memory disk.
Okay, okay, fine. So Vinayak, let me give one hypothetical question. Let's say that you are running in, there is one API, okay, and you have given, let's say, 15-second pacing for that, okay, and now you are running that in controller, okay, you are, let's say that you are holding it at 30 TPS, okay, now your TPS is decreasing. Your TPS is decreasing. Tell me what will happen to your response time.
If TPS is decreasing, means response time will increase.
Okay. So can you tell me why response time should increase, or let's say the response time increases, then reciprocally your TPS should decrease? I mean, but how? I mean, how it happening? How is it happening? Why is it causing it to uh, increase or decrease?
Because uh, if like number of users are increasing, then after particular threshold, the web server will not respond quickly after the saturation point. So during that period, our request will take more time to respond.
Okay.
So,
Fine. Okay. Uh, okay. So let's say that let's say that you are running a full load test, okay, and then you are seeing failures. You started seeing in controller, right? So have you worked on controller performance center?
controller.
Okay. So okay, fine. So I worked on controller. So in controller, if you see, there are a lot of things that we can do, right? For I mean, while in terms of analysis also. So can you tell me what are the graphs that you are observing while running the test in a controller?
Yeah, so the throughput graph and the response time uh, and running virtual users.
Okay. Okay. So Vinayak, let's say that you are running a load test. Okay. Now you are running a load test, and what you want to do is you want to increase the steady state. Okay, on the fly. So how can I do that?
We can do it
let's
using
say let let's say that let me explain it in a much better way. So let's say that there are 10 users, you have ramped up in 10 let's say 1 minute, okay, you have ramped up all the 10 users, and the scenario was for 1 hour, okay, and then you are ramping it down. So is there any way can I like increase the steady state? So when all the users are like they are performing, so steady state is achieved, they are doing their transaction, they'll be doing it for 1 hour. Let's say that I want to increase it to 1 hour 30 minutes. So how can I do that? Is it even possible?
yeah, we can use the real world scenario and design there, like, or if our tests are running, then
So
we
you have
can.
started a test, let's say your test is running, okay,
Mhm.
now if I want to increase the time, so there is one way I can stop the test. I can increase the time. So my run was for 1 hour. Let's say I've made it for 1 hour 30 minutes. Okay. So this is one way which I don't want to do. I don't want to stop my test. Let's say that I am observing something. I mean some error started coming up which I want to simulate it. So it now it is getting simulated and I want to observe it for a little bit of time. So is there any way can I hold on to that steady state and keep the test running?
Yeah, in controller only we can edit the steady state and increase it or add the action. That can be done on the fly.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we can do it.
Fine. Okay. Okay, so while sharing the results, Vinayak, what are the things that you are sharing to your client?
So we are sending the transaction, the critical transaction response time, uh, average response time, pass, fail, and 90th percentile.
Okay,
So
what is
these
90th
metrics,
percentile? What is 90th percentile?
90th percentile, like out of 100, 90% of the request took the amount of time to respond. So that matrix we capture.
Why do you need 90th percentile? I mean, do you know how this is calculated? How, let's say that I have run for 10 iterations. Okay, okay,
Hmm.
I run for 10 iteration. And I gave you the response time for each iteration. Okay, there is one single API or one single transaction in each transaction. Though there are not multiple transactions, single transaction you ran it for 10 iterations. Okay, now I'm giving you that, okay, each iteration when I it took this much of time. So how are you going to calculate the 90th percentile?
Yeah, so we will sort it using ascending order and like take first ninth uh, like response time. The problem with the average response time is that we get the outliers also. So to get the
So
accurate,
let's change the question. My question is single transaction. Okay, in a script I've ran that script for 10 iterations, and each iteration, let's say the first iteration it took 1 second, second iteration took 2 second, third 3 second, fourth 4 second, like that. For 10 iteration it took 10 seconds, okay, to complete. Now tell me what is the 19th percentile for this.
so 90th percentile will be starting from, we will first get the 10 response and we will sort it in ascending order, and then first 9 will be the 90th, like 1 to 9, so 9 second will be the 90th percentile.
Okay, fine. Okay, so you have worked on Dynatrace as well. Okay, so
Yeah,
can you tell me what, I mean, what is first of all Dynatrace, and where do you used it, and how much you know Dynatrace?
yeah, so for monitoring we use Dynatrace, and uh, we configure our microservice in a as a host in Dynatrace, and for monitoring each layer like a web app and DB using pure part technology, we can monitor that using Dynatrace, each layer monitoring.
Do you know how Dynatrace works? I mean, how it captures all these metrics?
Yeah, it uses one agent, and that agent will be installed on the web server or application or DB server. It will send the metrics to the Dynatrace server for dashboard.
Okay, okay, so okay, fine. So Vinayak, since I mean it's like almost 6 years, right? For you 6 years you are doing performance testing, so you must have encountered some performance tuning projects that you have handled in the past. So is there any project performance tuning that you have done, and I mean, is something that you can share with me?
For performance tuning, I don't have experience, so I'm looking for that opportunity.
Okay, okay, okay. Now let's say Vinayak, there is a requirement. Okay, so there is a requirement. Uh, that there's a database server, okay, and I want to divide the traffic. Okay, I want to divide the traffic on the request that is going to a database. Let's say that let's say if I'm running for 100 iterations, or whatever the traffic is gonna generate for this, half of the 40% traffic will go to one database, and 40%, 60% will go to the another uh, database. So can I do that? Is it even possible?
Yeah, using like load balancer, we can distribute the traffic.
How can you elaborate more?
Uh, so based on the like user load, there are certain algorithms for load balancer. Using that, we can distribute the traffic between
So do
two
you
data.
I mean, you have the access for that? I mean, can you? I mean, have
No,
you
I
done
don't
in the
have
past or?
access. I don't.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Okay. So Vinayak, you have written that you have worked on SQL as well.
Mhm.
So can you tell me? I mean, what is the scope of this in your project?
For volume test, like there are certain time we have to write the query to fetch records from database and get the response time. That time we use SQL.
So you're fetching the query from database to get the response time. Can you elaborate on this part? I didn't get it.
We are writing query to fetch the data from database.
What data?
Any like the, let's say, user details. So select the user details, then from employee table.
Okay, fine. Fine. Okay, fine. Let's see resume once more. So I've written late that you have identified test results, analysis, identify bottlenecks. So can you
Yeah.
allow, like, can you share some experience that what are the bottlenecks that you have identified well in your projects?
Yeah. So certain times the client side resources like JavaScript and HTML were taking a lot of time. Then we have asked developer to optimize it, and also so it was affecting the response time. That bottleneck I have identified, and yeah, so mainly related to response time, we have to see in pure path which requests are taking more time, and then
Hmm.
inform to the team, application team.
Okay, fine. So Vinayak, let's say that while running the test, you are running the test in your controller. Okay, and there are failures that are coming up. Okay, now what are the things that I can do? I mean, obviously I'll get the failure logs, but what
Mm.
are the additional things? So can I identify for which script is it failing? Okay, if so, and how? And on the fly, if I want to remove some users, okay, and let's say that I want to add some users. Okay, let's say that I started my test with 10 users. In the run, I've decided, okay, now let me go to the 15 user. I'll be running it with 15 user. Can I add that? Is it even possible?
Yeah, you can add that. Like previously, also you have said the same scenario, right? We can add, or we can like we can add the users on the fly for running test
Okay,
in controller.
okay. Okay, okay, fine. So Vinayak, there's one more scenario. Okay, I'm running a load test. Okay, my let's say that my response time is increasing. Okay, during the test. Now, what are the things that you are going to do as now? You're running a load test. You are seeing
Mm.
that your CPU utilization is let's say going to 95%. Your response time is also increasing. What are you going to do now?
So if it is like increasing the response time, then check the CPU disk memory, these metrics, and the throughput
Okay.
also check. We have to check the throughput whether it is increasing or decreasing.
Okay, so what exactly what are you going to look in your CPU? So because let's say that you have a monitoring tool at your disposal, and in that tool you can see that okay CPU is going to 90. Okay, and
Mhm.
if let's assume that it is showing consumed free spaces like that. There are two metrics. So it is showing that okay consumed memory is going up to 95%. Now what will I do with that? I mean, your response time is getting higher because, I mean, your test is getting ruined because of that. So there must be some reason, right? So how do you investigate? What are the things that you're going to look? That is, I mean, yeah. What are the things that you're going to look?
Uh, yeah, like, I'm not sure. Like if we are reaching a certain level, then what will be the next that I am not aware of it.
Okay. Okay, fine. Now, I have a problem. Okay. Now the problem is uh, that on the server side there is a high latency. Okay, and I'm
Mm.
aware of it that okay. Now I'm aware of that okay there is a high latency, and when I'm running the script I'm getting these timeout errors. Okay,
Mm.
I'm getting these timeout errors, and the application team has said okay fine, we are working around it. Give us some time, we'll fix it, we will reduce that latency. But by the time you need to run your scripts, okay, you wanna create your script. So what are the settings that you can incorporate in your script so that that error can be mitigated?
Yeah, in runtime settings we can increase the timeout period from and the like default to more like 500 seconds, something like that. We can increase that.
So can you tell me what exactly, what's the name of the, there are different kinds of timeout, right? So what timeout are you going to increase in this one?
Yeah, so exact name I right now don't remember, but we can increase that using LoadRunner.
Okay, okay, fine. Uh, let's say that Vinayak, let's talk about the scripting challenges more on. Okay, so
Mm.
let's say that I'm doing a recording and I got a 403 error. So what you will do as a performance test, let's say that you are scripting and you got a 403 error. So what will you do now?
For 403, like we have to check the access, the particular user is having access or not. That we have to check.
So for access, you are suggesting that we should check. Can you tell me what is 403?
It's a forbidden error.
Okay, okay. uh, let's say that there is a syntax problem in your function. Okay, you have done there's some mistake while writing the code or request, or you while editing you made some mistake, and now you should get a syntax error. Okay, now we know that it's a syntax error. Can you tell me what Fusion will tell? Okay, although it's gonna tell that is syntax error, but still it will tell you some code will come up for this. Can you tell me what kind of code it will be?
It will be like client said 400 series error only, but
Okay. So there is
exactly
401, 402, 403, 400. Yeah, there are a lot. Okay, fine, 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 fine. Okay, when do I get? Let's say that if I'm getting bad gateway error, I'm not to error. What could be the possible reason?
server is unavailable. Um, that case we get bad gateway.
Server is unavailable. Okay, so what do you get in 500 error?
Internal server not available.
Okay. So what is the difference between these two, right? That's what you said, right? In for the 502 also.
Bad gateway. I need to check like what can be different.
Okay. So, Vinayak, are you aware of these things like network time to first buffer, server time to first buffer, download time component? What are these? What are the things?
No, I need to like refresh these things.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Fine, Vinayak. Let's see how much time is left. So we have a couple of more minutes. Let's explore more on the. Okay. So tell me what are the things. Okay, so let's say that your testing is done. You have done your testing. You have executed a test. Now the test is done. Now you have to analyze your result. How do you analyze your results? What is the first thing that you do when you're downloading your results? What are the first thing that you are seeing? Or metrics that you are configuring, right, for preparing the report. So what are the things that you are going to do? Let's say, or let me rephrase this question, that fine that you have run the test, your results are nice, okay, they are within the SLAs, but but still you want to check, okay, whether there is some issues or not that has come up. Okay, so what are the things that you look for?
We'll check the graph like running user versus hits per second,
Okay,
throughput versus response time, and hits per second versus throughput, and average
okay.
response time versus number of users.
So
So
what are you
these
looking for in that? What are the things that you are looking into that when you say
yeah,
you're
so
comparing this? What are you
yeah,
comparing?
so the graph will be linear except throughput versus response time. It will be indirectly proportional. Other graph should be directly proportional.
Okay, fine. Let's say that if I want to monitor, if I want to, let's say not monitor, I want to observe that during my test there were certain spikes. Okay, I mean, although my response time is lower, but for some requests there is a sharp increase in the response time. Okay, and I want to analyze that why, I mean, where the issue has occurred, whether it's on the server part, it's on the network part, where exactly the glitch occurred. Because of that, for that request the response time got higher. So how can I identify which request caused this issue?
Like we can export this result into Excel sheet, and from there for each request, what is the response time, we can figure out the maximum response time per request.
But I want to see, okay, where exactly this metric has caused the issue. When I'm saying this, that means, okay, so let's say that, okay, for that request network was the problem. Okay, so in the network itself it took a lot of time to complete. Okay, now how can I see this? I mean, the what you are suggesting me, I can see, you are suggesting that, okay, I can pull the reports. Okay, I can, let's say that even I can do that. Okay, I can pull for each and every request that was hit during our test. I can pull the reports max mini. But how can I analyze, okay, where, I mean, which particular component has caused this high spike, whether network, whether server, whether client side? So how can I do that?
If you have Dynatrace, then we can monitor Dynatrace. Otherwise,
I don't have
using
Dynatrace. I
Pokemon,
don't have Dynatrace. I want to do it using my analysis tool.
we can pull the graphs for network, CPU, memory, this
Okay.
parameters.
So you're saying Puffon, right? So what is Puffon?
It's a monitoring tool for Windows OS.
Okay. So I can configure, right? I can configure. So can you tell me which particular metric you configure? Have you used it? So you, I mean, it's just a knowledge that you have as of now.
I have knowledge on Pokemon.
Okay, so what metrics, I mean, you configure? If I'm not wrong, in that you have to select particular metric that you want to capture, right? You create add data for that duration, and you can capture the metrics, right? We can integrate also. That is, I mean, those are the options that I'm pretty sure you're talking about. But my question is, okay, fine, for CPU, what metric are you going to put? What for memory? What metric are you going to put for let's say for disk space? What metric are you going to put in your watch so that for that duration, the entire metric is captured?
For CPU, we have percent CPU time. Memory, we have
Percent
available.
CPU time. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, for memory, we have available M bytes, and
Okay.
for disk, we have percent disk time, and for network, we have latency, and yeah. So these are the metrics we can capture.
Okay. Are you sure these are the metrics that we capture, or you wanna rethink on this?
I need to check uh, on this.
Okay. No issues. Okay. So let's say that there is one option. Okay, there is one option. Let's say there's, I mean, there is one option. Okay. Uh, that you are running the scripts. Okay, I mean, you must have done it while running your, I mean, when you are recorded the scripts and you are working on them, when you are, this is first time you are creating your scripts. Okay, and so there's one option called continue on error. Okay, there's one option called continue on error which we enable that. So even if the request is failing, it will skip that request and it will move on to the next request and see whether those requests are passing or not. In the end, it will show, okay, it has failed or passed, and these are the requests that has failed in between. Now let's say that I have disabled that option. Okay, now if I've disabled that option, now wherever the request is going to fail, immediately the script, I mean, the running will stop and it will pop up, shows that, okay, fine, the request has failed here, and the test will stop. And then you can investigate and do your fixing and move on, like one by one. This is the way we do our scripting to fix the issues. Now let's say that I want that, I want to keep that option disabled, but I still want that functionality to happen. Can I do that?
Yeah, we can do that, but right now, like, don't remember which LR function we can use to achieve this.
Okay, fine. So you have worked on, I mean, what I can see in your resume. Let me have a better look. What is this EC2? Can you tell me what is EC2? I mean, this is a price product for AWS, if I'm not wrong. Can you tell me? I mean, do you have the underlying understanding of this technology?
Yeah, this is a virtual machine type in AWS, EC2.
Okay, what are virtual machines?
Virtual machine are machines which run on the cloud, and it will provide the underlying infrastructure.
Okay. Okay. So, Vinayak, you have written that you used, I mean, you do sanity as well. I mean, so can you tell me what are the things that you, I mean, pretty sure you will have some checklist for your sanity. Can you tell me what is the sanity, how your sanity looks like? What are the things that you are checking in your sanity?
So yeah, before running load test, we go with sanity just to check our test scripts are working with the valid test data. So these are the
Okay.
important inputs we provide for sanity, like user data validation and script validation.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Involved in script. Okay, so you have done enhancements also. Okay, so we only talked about one enhancement. Is there any like additional enhancement you have done? I mean, can you tell what are the
Parameterization
enhancement?
correlation.
So that is
This
basic, right? That is not enhancement. I mean, your scripts will not work, right? I mean, without parameterization it work, but right, basic. These are basic things: parameterization, correlation. Okay, I'm talking about what is the additional thing. What I mean, apart from that, you have done uh, in your scripts.
the custom coding part, like we have to split request data and pass it to the next request.
So this is one. Anything apart from this?
Generally, these things we have done.
Okay, let me give you one example then. So I have there's a one application. Okay, in that application, you are booking your tickets. Okay, when you're booking your ticket, it's showing you 10 different destinations in which you can go. Okay, so and so to and from is there. Okay, and again in that from also you have like in to they have 10 different location. In from also you have 10 different locations. Okay, these are not matching. Let's say these are not matching. Now well, I mean, we cannot predict, right? Every user will go to predefined destination. So while recording, we'll select some location, but in the real world scenario, that doesn't happen. So randomly, some user will come, they will pick that user, and then for to and from, they will select it. So in your script, how can you achieve that? Okay, randomly in to and from, different location will be selected, and those, I mean, for each iteration, different locations are getting picked up. So how can I do that?
Using like LR param random function or param array, we can achieve the randomization.
Okay, can you tell me how? Okay, how we're going to do it? I mean, how you're going to first of all catch the array itself?
Yeah, using ordinal equals to all, we will capture all the value and
Okay,
uploading left and right boundary, then store it in one variable. And
okay.
using LR param array function, uh, we can either use
LR
index or
param array function. Okay, so you say so there is one function called LR array param function. Okay, fine.
mm, so we'll store that into array, and then using random function, we can pick the value randomly.
So you are suggesting that can you write the? I mean, in your chat can you write that? What exactly are you going? Let's say that I'm giving you flight only. In flight, you have these 10 locations. Now, can you write the function? How are you going to catch it?
Mhm. Okay, I will try.
Give it a try. And what function, LR function, are you going to use?
For random, we are using LR param random array.
Okay. I'll give you 2 minutes. I mean, give it a try. So this is LLR param IDX. What this function does?
So first we will store that array value in one variable and then we pass the index.
Okay.
I need to check like how to implement in
Okay.
LoadRunner.
Fine. No issues. No issues. Okay. Let's say that my correlation is not working, Vinayak. Tell me what are the things that you're going to do now?
We can go with the dynamic boundaries like regular param, regular expression syntax, and capture the value if the boundaries are changing, left and right boundary.
Okay. Okay. Then. What else? I mean, only boundaries you want to check. If let's say that I've done some correlation, it's not working. So I'll check the boundaries. Done. Next. Still, it's still I'm getting the error. What next?
Check whether the value is in header or body where we are capturing and sending as a part of request.
Okay. Okay. Then let's say this is also not working.
Then check the like protocol, the correct protocol we are using.
We'll check the protocol. Okay. Fine. Let's say that is also not working. Then.
I need to check like what can be the reason.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Let me give you one scenario. Okay. In this scenario, what is happening here? That okay. Can you tell me? So these parameters, if you go, there are different kind of predefined parameters that that is given by the load runner. Okay. Can you tell me what are the different things that I can do? What are the different options available?
Yeah, so we have date time and view gen, load generator name, ID, and file, iteration. So these are like inbuilt parameter names. We can group name.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Okay. So Vinayak, there is one scenario. Okay. Now let's say I'm testing Google. Okay, Gmail, and there I have to register new users. Okay, I have to run it for let's say 100 iterations. Okay. So Google has given me some data. Okay, and he has given me that okay, you can use this username, let's say name and password to create a user. Okay, so what are the settings are you going to do in your parameter file? Let's say that in parameter, right, you have to do the setting. Okay, how the value is really going to go while running the transaction. What are the settings that you are going to select?
We can select like uh, sequentially, and for each iteration, select the value sequentially.
So sequentially you're suggesting, right? Now the thing is, I had clearly told, right, the username and the username cannot be repeated. The whatever the username is,
Yeah.
it should be, it cannot be repeated basically. So are you still want to go, will you go with it with sequential, or do you want to change
No,
it to something else?
we can use the one, unique one.
Unique. And whether it should be, should I keep it each iteration, or should I change it to each occurrence?
Each iteration we can use it
Okay, can you explain why it should be each iteration?
because user registration is a one-time activity. If in our script we are using the same user, we are trying to input again. Occurrence is more than we can use each occurrence, but user registration is one-time activity. So we can just go with each iteration.
Are you sure this is the reason? I mean, your answer is correct, but your reason is not. So you might want to think it again.
Okay, maybe like each occurrence we can go with unique users.
Okay, so fine. Just last one question, and then we'll wrap up this interview. So you wrote that you are involved in PT performance lifecycle process, and you have like already 6 years of experience. So what are the different steps are there in performance lifecycle, and what exactly? I mean, you mentioned NFR, but apart from NFR, what are additional activities that are involved in? Can you please explain this? What are
Yeah,
the, I mean, first, what is the different type of different phases are there in performance life cycle, and in which you are involved in? What was your role?
yeah, so requirement gathering for NFR, then workload modeling, test script creation, then execution and analysis, and like identifying bottlenecks, report preparation.
Okay, and in each step you are involved, right?
Yeah.
Fine. And Vinayak, I think I want to wrap up the interview now. So I will. Do you have any questions for me before I'll wrap up? And I will. I mean, I'll stop the recording and then I will give you the feedback. But before that, do you have any questions for me?
No, right now I don't have any question.
Okay, fine. Fine, Vinayak, so I'll stop the recording and then I will give you the feedback. Okay.
Okay.